Welcome back, Minecraft fans, to our very own world of Rivenbourne. We're hanging out on the top of our church, which we built in the last episode, and since the last episode, I don't think I've made any major modifications, so it should look just like it did in that episode, but I did change the pathway out here, or rather I added a pathway and kind of a hill here, and a lantern, which required some actual careful architecture there, and I'll explain why later. Probably won't actually. And added in some scaffolding, which will one day be a new little elf house in our Elven city of Mistglade. But that's not what we're working on today. Got a couple of projects for this episode. Probably work in here, not actually in there, but up here on our piston elevator, which is going to send us up to Quetzal's tower, and all of the good elf people up to Quetzal's tower. And then at the top, see, this is why we need that elevator. Oh, gosh. 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, and we're here. And work on the main portion of Quetzal's tower, this wall here, which will go up there and possibly beyond and contain this lovely pathway with this lovely courtyard. But I'll just do the exterior today because I think we'll have enough to do. So first things first is to get a base layer established, and that's going to be this one. Ugh, don't like that. All better. So, of course, this tower is on 2 levels here, at least 2, kind of a hill in between them. So I want to take that base layer up there and extend it around. So let's see, it's right about here, and then it comes off right here. So right there is what I'm working with. Let's get rid of that. Oh, just 2 blocks different than, 3 blocks different. I can count 1, 2, 3 different than this base layer. So there's not a lot I can do in there, but I don't want it to be just stone like this. That would be boring. So let's get rid of these and see if we can't use terracotta, which will also feature to make it less boring. Now I don't want it to be just terracotta. That would also be boring. So I want to use slabs and stairs, only there aren't any terracotta slabs or stairs. So what if we did something, some kind of pattern like, this is going to get dangerous. I imagine I will be down there a lot. Oh, look, a trader. And maybe a little bit of, what did we do with that one? Maybe a little this, stair, and upside down stairs. Like that. Kind of. You get the idea. Let's see how this looks. Yes. Yeah. So something like that. A pattern that kind of repeats along the bottom here to just kind of raise this base up to here where the real pattern will get started and where everything is when you get up here. And then we'll make we'll make windows and balconies, and it'll go all the way up there. And I haven't really worked it out. I dinked around in creative for a while without coming up with anything good. So it'll all come out here. Pretty much freestyling this one. And I got something that will work for that purpose. But now the layer on top, the main event, basically the way that the tower will look from great distances and what people will think of when they think of Quetzal's tower. Just in my way there. So I have a few plans here. Basically, I'm thinking the way to go is to make this layer, make it 2 layers, right? From here to about halfway and then from there up. And the first layer to be mainly terracotta and then stone extra, like stone framing, basically. And then the second layer to be mainly terracotta with stripped birch framing like that. And we'll see how that works and if it works, but that's the main plan. And so this will look kind of like that. And we can do another one here. And let's see here. What do I have? This should all be terracotta. And it's this one. That should be brick. Kind of like that. Let's see what we got. Alright, as far as the placement of the brick versus the terracotta, I think it looks good. I think it looks okay. All that's left to do is plan something in here to make it look like it's good, and also figure out how tall I want it to be. So probably two more. Yeah. 2 more blocks up, and then we'll switch to whatever's next. You are unwanted. Okay, I'm sealing you in. There you go. So 2 more on all of these. Like this. And like this. To make a match with these should be pointing the other way. They really should. Let's try that. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't need all this extra terracotta here. So the obvious thing to do is to tear a hole right here and do like a window, only it's kind of going to be exterior in there, as well as out here. So it's not a room, so I'm not sure a window really makes sense. And furthermore, it doesn't really fit in with what we're doing over here, which are just these kind of, windows, but without, glass. So what do you call a window without glass? An open window, I guess. So we'll do that, but we will, but how about something a little bit more magical, like, for instance, a nice bit of stonework here and some hovering wall bits, hovering stone bits there. I mean, that could be cool. Still kind of plain. Nothing as fancy as this, but I'll add trapdoors and that sort of thing, like this, with some leaves under them. That's not how trapdoors work. No, that looks dumb. Fences with leaves on them. Oh, that looks kind of cool, kind of like a flower box there, without any actual flowers. So yeah, no dark oak. We're just gonna have to go without it. Maybe on the next level up, we'll do the dark oak. Do you like that? I think that's pretty cool. The stone kind of clashes. This might be, oh, it connects there. Well, we'll see. Let me sleep. I think my bed is in here somewhere. Oh yeah. I think I might be close to something here, although it still looks a little chaotic with little pieces of the other, build in here, but not quite faithfully represented, with the trapdoors and the leaves, but not looking too bad and still pretty close to what I'm trying to achieve. And I like this sort of, I don't know. I don't know, the stone and there's no flowers sort of doesn't draw attention to this big gaping hole in the wall, but the floating wall does. So that's pretty cool, and I like that. And something's wrong here. That is pointing the wrong way. Remind me to fix that. But the problem is I can't quite reproduce that here. Whoa. Here. Because another hole would just be one too many, it seems like. And so I need to kind of distract here with some other kind of decoration or feature. And what I'd like to do is some kind of a shape that's different. And that being said, I could probably achieve that with a little sticky outy bit. I don't really want to mess up the shape too much. If I did see sort of like a sticky outy and then go up, excuse me, and go back in, something like this. And then just for the purposes of illustration, what if I did something as simple as that? What would that look like? Oh, I didn't think that was going to work. Yeah, it kind of worked. Yeah, that's just too much. There's just too much green and stone. It kind of looks like overgrown, like castle ruins. And that is for later on, let me tell you. We got plenty of castle ruins in our future, in other parts of Rivenbourne. This should be this should be the White Tower, the Good Wizard's Tower. the good wizard Quetzal in his tower above Mistglade. Is it just me, or is the hovering flower actually an excellent idea? It's probably just me. But I really like it. And my excuse, of course, would be that it is a magic tower, and blah blah blah. But I think I'm going to keep it so far. And of course, I like the Lily of the Valley because it's white, and so are the Azure Bluets. They're kind of white and yellow, but this is hovering, so it has to be much more special. And I went with Dark Oak instead of Stone to unstonify it a little bit. No, no, stay. Alright, hey, that's not too bad. You have to picture this being kind of capped off in a good way. So, I think we're making some progress here. Okay, do you see this here? This right there. There's two little things coming out of this thing and going into this bluish, greenish thing here. This is what I'm talking about. I said I probably wouldn't get to it. I was wrong. Up until 1.14.2, I think, this happened. You see no two little connecting thingies. Fortunately, I haven't updated these blocks since I've been switched over, and so there's still no little connecty thing. But were I to add something now, as you saw back there, and as you will see, here, let me get there, at this lamppost up here, there is a problem with it. Look at this. And that is the problem. So, were I to do the sensible thing and go ahead and hang my sea lantern from right here, it gets that and doesn't work. This is how you would have had the light done. But this makes no sense. Look at that. And it intersects on the border of the sea lantern and doesn't work. It looks awful. It shouldn't. Look, they just kind of disappear in there like it's into some kind of foamy bathwater or something. Ah, gosh. So, and I think it's connected to the problem that they just fixed, where pigmen and stuff in the nether could spawn on sea lanterns. But previous, as far as I know, the sea lantern is a transparent block, which means fences didn't connect to it. I don't know if that's been changed, if sea lanterns are now a solid, what do they call it? Yeah, solid block. Or if there's just been some extra rule added that fences can connect to them. But I do not like it. And I think that's good. We need some leaves up here and down there, and some trapdoors and fences and all that. The works. See if I can get that to work. Oh, and I put on a cap up here. Ready for the next layer. So we probably won't get to the piston elevator this episode, but let me show you all the progress I got done. Doesn't look like much from the inside, but I've wrapped our design from before around to all of these sides, and even over here on the sheer cliff face, let me show you what that looks like. Ta-da! Oh, and added in a little, what do you call that, window thing here on the front. This is the only place that you really get to see it though. And I've continued that over on this side as well. And of course this is open because it'll be connected to the rest of our tower, and so it won't have a wall here. And then this is left open so that I can go in and out when I need to, but that's what it looks like. And this will go under kind of a tower here, so we don't need to finish that up there yet. But now we need to head up to the top to do the second layer, and it will be, as I previously said, terracotta and stripped birch for framing, or at least that's the plan right now, and it should be one block back. So let me get my bearings here. That means it should be right here, and I'll just start with laying the terracotta And 1 block back would be here. That looks great. Now the only question is, how high do we want to go? And I think 2 more layers up is probably about right. This isn't going to take me all the way up, is it? Oh, I think I can make it. And then we're going to put a roof on it, and it'll be pitched, so it'll go even taller than that. And this dirt line here is going to be blown away because that would just be too short at this point. So let's start with 2 more, like I said, and then check that that's not too tall, and then also maybe even put the dirt on for our roof so that we can finally get a sense for the exact scale of how big this thing's gonna be. Here's a first look at what it could look like. Got a window in the middle, just like on that layer and every other layer that I've done so far. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep that. But also made these balconies here, and they're kind of hard to see from this level, but I made them a little bit bigger than they were and put a door there. Right now it's just a useless door, and it might stay that way, and threw some leaves there. But, of course, a lot left to do. I'm thinking maybe throw in another window above each of these doors, and it'll probably look a lot better once we get a roof on there. But it does look pretty plain right now. But there wasn't much I could do over there since there's 2 blocks in the center, and where we had 3 before. So I had to just throw in the leaves and see that. I'll put some trapdoors there, birch trapdoors, and that ought to do it, and maybe some kind of, I don't know, maybe some kind of light source out here in front of each of the balconies. But pretty much, if I do that all the way around, I mean, look, this has got some height on it. Like, this looks like a pretty big tower, and it'll help that this will be there, and that will be there, and of course the main tower will be visible just out of sight behind it. So that'll help make it look even more impressive. Let's land on my tree here and take a look. So I've added a few details, and my favorite part is these 4 leaves here instead of the usual 2. I was going to put trapdoors there, but they were going to line up with these ones down here anyway. So I think it's a much better decision. If you can picture a roof on this thing, which we'll have soon, then you'll be able to imagine it as it will be. Also, there's this big old flat bit here, so we had to do a little gargoyle coming out here. I think that's alright, to make it look a little more round. I forgot to do the leaf thing here, but we have dark oak doors, and I don't know about doing a second floor on the inside. These doors might just be ornamental, but let's throw a roof on there and call this episode done and work on the interior in the next one. So the plan right now is to have an inner ring about this big here, which I've already done, and then have a little archway. Here, let me get a better look at this. Little archway like that. Actually, I'll get it this side. Like that, and continue this around like a big old half a donut. And looking pretty good. I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out. I was not sure that it was going to work out, but you see we have a little bit of detail where the roof comes a little lower. We've got a little overhang thing there, which might not work so well, especially with this connected texture here. But on the other side, if I can get to it, I have a little fence, birch fence there, which really makes the whole thing what it is, and I'm wondering if I need a little bit more elsewhere. One problem I can see already is the pink roof sticking out underneath there, so probably dark oak slab. Yeah, I've got one. We'll go right there. Yeah, I think that might do it. Maybe a fence post on either side. I think we got a plan for this whole thing. Something needed right there. That ought to do it. The roof is done, and with that, I'll call the exterior of this project complete. Looks pretty cool from right here in the center, and from the outside, let's try that. No, not gonna happen. Looks pretty cool from out here too. Let me show you. There you go. Nothing too fancy, but a good way to cap this and the other towers. This tower will be really fancy to make up for it. Oh, I forgot to take down my scaffolding, but that's it. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please let me know, and make sure you check out the next one when we come back and finish up this project here in our very own world of Rivenbourne.